Hey guys, this is P.M.R.Bonez88, and I'm back from my Thanksgiving vacation. The food was great, even spending time with the family was even more greater. So my Thanksgiving week was really fun. So today for my next superhero movie review that I'll be talking about today is Batman Begins. The new director now is Christopher Nolan, and the guest star for the next Batman movie is Christian Bale, Katie Holmes, Gary Oldman, Michael Caine, Morgan Freeman, Liam Neeson, and Cillian Murphy. So it's been 8 years after Joel Schumacher's Batman Robin, which was a terrible and bad movie. So it was the time that it was time to refresh Batman, remake him, and reboot the Dark Knight hero and explain of how Bruce Wayne became Batman. So the director, Christopher Nolan, he was the new director to make this new Batman Begins of how it all began, how it happened, and it starts out in taking place at he's in prison somewhere in Asia, but in somewhere there are a few flashbacks when he was a child, where he was a boy, and why he was a fear of bats. And it was also good. It had a great story plot, a good story of seeing him, moving him from being ordinary billionaire, depressing man to the Dark Knight hero. And it was really great just to see the story background, the storyline that was really perfect, and even the music was even more darker and more suspenseful and surprising. The music was even great and was really superb, and the music was played by Hans Zimmer. And Hans Zimmer's music is really great, but doesn't really beat of Danny Elfman's music of Batman, of Tim Burton's first two of Batman. So Henry Donahue was played by Liam Neeson, took him in and trained him to join up with the League of Shadows, which was the leader of course was Ra's al Ghul. He was the leader, but spoilers, if those of you don't know, that this Ra's al Ghul was really an imposter. So the real Ra's al Ghul was Henry Donahue. He's the real Ra's al Ghul. Spoiler alert, just to let you all know, if those of you didn't see Batman Begins. But if those of you are familiar with this movie and you know the story and who is the real Ra's al Ghul, now you know. So anyways, he trains him just to seek justice and to leave facing his own fears of where his parents died, and he tried to seek his justice, and eventually he wanted his own justice, that he wanted to create his own justice society. And the real justice that he betrays Henry and fights off all the League of Shadows and burns his house down, but saves his life, and he goes back to Gotham City, and Alfred helps him out too, just to train and become a hero that he really wants to be. So he needed a little help assistant, which is Lucius Fox, played by Morgan Freeman. He gives him the gadgets, the suits, and everything what he really wants to be, and during that night, that's where he becomes the Batman. Now, the love scene between Bruce and Rachel, eventually, when they were kids, they were only friends. As they grew up, they were good friends at the end. But their love interest between Bruce and Rachel, the character Rachel, never heard of this character. She's probably just only a made-up character, but I think she was in part one of the Batman comics. I never really read all the comics of the Batman issues. She was a good actress, Katie Holmes, and she made the character really good, really interesting, and interesting just see their love interest between Rachel and Bruce. There was a little problem. We'd barely seen the Scarecrow too much. But he uses what Scarecrow uses. He has a face of fear. Uses dose of fear, what you're afraid of, and but his character was really weak, and I only wish they were made him like scarier, and even fighting off Batman and Robin. I would have wished they had a long fight between Batman and Scarecrow, but it was really a disappointment. And the other thing about the Batmobile, this new and improved Batmobile, it looks okay. It's not as good as the other Batmobiles. Well, not as good than the Tim Burton's Batmobile. But with this new Batmobile, it's a Bat tank. It's really cool with all the guns and the gadgets that he uses, and it was so big and so bulky, and wish it would have been like the original Batmobiles, but not with the last Batmobile. It looked kind of too cartoony, but it's way better than the Batman Robin Batmobile, but it's not as better than the Tim Burton's Batmobile as well. So it's really good. It's an okay Batmobile in my opinion, but the rest of the action scene and storyline, it's really great, and I'm really happy that they did remake this Batman movie. So Batman Begins, it's a really good movie. It's really enjoying. It's really intense movie, and I really actually enjoy it. So just to rate this movie, I would have to give it a 95 out of 100. It was an epic movie just to see it and just to watch it in theaters. The first time I saw it is with my family. I went to see it. It's really good and it's really enjoyable, and even with the storyline, it's really perfect. Just even a superb job, and I think Christopher Nolan did a great job to bring the Batman Begins to life. And I do own this movie on Blu-ray and DVD. So the next time for my next superhero movie review that I'll be talking about is Thor. And this is P.M.R.Bonez88 signing off and saying is peace!